In this video, we're going to talk about why some channels tend to not grow as faster than other channels and why some YouTubers feel stuck because they really don't know how the system is actually working and how they can make the system work for them. Welcome to the channel. Hey y'all. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right on into this and why it's not working for some versus working for others. And that's because your video has to be geared to your subscribers. Subscribers are the key to your success. Now, in the old system, subscribers really didn't matter because it was driven by the algorithm was attaching itself to the people, and then based off whatever the people wanted in general, far as the whole system as a whole, uh, it it then your video attached itself to that group of people. Well, now another metric has been added to the system, which makes it your subscribers have to be the one that likes your material. So it is far easier for a smaller content creator to figure out what their subscribers want versus what a larger platform with a lot of subscribers have. Because now you got to really figure out what your subscribers would like uh, to see on their video. Now, we're all viewers in this game, each and every last one of us. Whether or not you are a content creator or not, that is what separates us. Everybody are viewers. So, depending on what you are searching in your search engine and looking for, those topics or similar topics or things that the algorithm system and which is AI as well. It's a machine learning system that learns very quickly, y'all. What you like, what appeals to you as the viewer. So just picture like we're in a box. We're all in our own private box. And whether or not when you enter into that box, you are a viewer or you enter into that box and you're a content creator, it is all geared by what you are interested in, right? So when you look to make content for the platform, you have to appease to your subscribers. Now, back in the old system, it was niche down. And I will agree in the old system, the way the old system worked, because literally it was migrating or hurting people, groups of people, based off of the subject that they were all interested in. It will attach itself to that particular group, right? And then, depending on if it could find your group or not, it would explode. Well, this is a different matrix added to the system because no longer is it based off of the old way where you really had to be real geared in to one specific niche in order to get the crowd to see you as find your crowd, for the system to find your crowd. I think, and this is from my observations and what I've seen, not just from my own analytics that I'm looking at, but also looking at other platforms is what is happening. And the same thing is happening, whether it is a large platform, a smaller platform, just getting started platform. You can see everything is based on a percentage. Okay, so based off of their subscribers, each platform is dealing with a percentage of their subscribers that are engaging in their content. If they can get the majority of their subscribers to view and watch that content, it will then push it out into the mainstream algorithm. But first, you have to get through your subscribers. Almost like the subscribers are now is there a force field and you have to break through that force field. So the best thing to do is get subscribers on your channel that is really interested in what you are doing. The problem about niching down is If those subscribers you now have on your platform get bored with the information that you keep repeatedly saying to them, then they're less likely to be entertained unless they are there for some type of education, because the platform is split straight down the middle, educational versus entertainment. That is it. No matter what category you talk about, is going to fall into these two categories. It's either going to be educational or it's going to be entertaining, right? And I've always said the best of the best creators learn how to merge the two. They could take an educational video and make it entertaining in order for you to be able to relate to it while adding in stories and stuff like that. Now, so now that you got this concept, this is why niching down don't really work in the new system. It did in the old system, but it does not do it in the new system because your subscribers are your basically like a force field, so to speak. And if those subscribers that you see in front of you do not watch your material, well, then your material will not get pushed out to more people. Now, if you were a person that studied your analytics, such as I did, and I've been studying now for a very long time, you would have noticed a gap that was closing in. Prior to the new changes, before they completely switched it on, I believe, just from my observation, they probably were testing this out somewhere around November, end of October, November of last year. They partially switched it on just to see how it would work. And then now that they're in the full display of the new system, fully on now. So everybody is being affected by this. And I know that everybody's being affected by it because YouTube themselves said that they're in a new system and the algorithm has been changed, and that no longer is the old way works for the new algorithm. And I partly believe they did that because back in the old system, subscribers really didn't matter, but subscribers was one of the two things you needed in order to be monetized on this platform. So even though it wasn't driven by the subscribers at the time, in order for people to get monetized, and that's why a lot of people are on this platform because they want to get monetized, people would do what is known as sub for sub, or they would do various different things in order to get subscribers. If they did not catch a wave, because doing it the regular way, even then, was a slow progress. So that's where you heard a lot of people say they organically grew their channels. But with all these constant waves that keep hitting this system, a lot of people are being able to get a whole bunch of subscribers, whether or not they're finding you or you are going out and you're talking to them and then they're coming back on your channel and they are subscribing to your channel. So subscriptions are free, right? But yet in the past, people treated subscription up to a certain point like they were being. They had to pay for them. I'm not giving them my subscription. Why not? It's free. That's the least you could do for anybody. Well, that was because in order for, if those person was on your subscriber list, it gave you the two metrics that you truly needed. So part of me feel like that narrative was placed in the platform because of people wanting to keep, people at a certain level. It was whether it was the bigger content creators or whether it was YouTube themselves. That might be a little bit of both. So they implemented that into their system in order to keep people from becoming monetized. Now, statistically, not there out of 100% of the people that come in as content creators, 90 of them will never become monetized. Why? Because you need two things in order to become monetized. You need watch time hours, 4,000 watch time hours, and you need 1,000 subscribers. Now, YouTube, because they knew they was getting ready to change this system, they made it a little bit easy to give you more momentum to stay into the platform without getting discouraged and giving up. Now, they don't want everybody leaving the platform, so they want people to be on here to achieve their goals of pressing forward to become monetized. But the real truth is, most people will not make it because of those two things. What you will find is a lot of people either have a whole bunch of subscribers and they don't have watch time, or they have a whole bunch of watch time, but they don't have subscribers. And whatever that one thing is that they're missing, they're going to have trouble breaking through until they can figure out what works for their channel. It will always be that way. The new content creator, they are will the new content creator have the opportunity with no subscribers, if they do the system the way the system is supposed to be done, or they figure it out, and use stuff that, tactics that people are telling them to do that actually work, they have an opportunity now to surpass anybody that already have subscribers. Why? Because the new system is based on subscribers, and subscribers is really the first step that you have to make sure you have. You have to make sure you have core, good, organic, not, I'm not going to use the word organic, but core, solid subscribers that are going to watch your material. What typically happens when you get a wave of people from a wave or a trend, it's going to leave a group of people behind with your wave. So it could be a small group of people, or it can be a large, massive amount of people. Now, for the old system, when that happened, for the most part, it was a good thing because it allowed you to get a lot of views. And the more views you have, the potential you could have people watching your videos with the ad. The content creators is not just paid off of the view, they're paid off of whether or not someone watches the ad. So the more views you have on a video, not all your videos, but one video, the more views you have on one video, the better your chances of at least 1,000 or more people will be able to watch your video, and it will qualify that video to be paid out on. Right. So back in the day when that happened, it was a good thing because a large sum of people came with the wave, which means a lot of interaction would have happened, a lot of subscribers would have subscribed to the channel, even if they really didn't care for your content. Now, here's where I think YouTube finally figured out something. Well, instead of us worried about subbing for subbing or whatever, let's use the sub, because the sub is the first one of the first things you need in order to get monetized. Let's change something about the system to where if they do it, it will not benefit them one way or the other. Because if they have all these subscribers on their platform and they're not watching their material, then the stuff won't get pushed out. Okay. And for the ones that's trying to figure it out, you'll run in a rat race and in a circle trying to figure out what's going on, but you will have a hard time figuring it out. And I can say this is pretty spot on, because even in their interview for YouTube, they said to um, stop worrying about blowing up, stop worrying about getting a large quantity of people, and focus on your subscribers. Stop watching click-through rate, because that no longer works, and start focusing on your impressions, because the impressions was going to let you know whether or not it went out. Now, whenever a company make changes to its system, remember, it always has to give you some key components as to how it works. Because if they do not give you some of the components, then nobody will figure out what's actually going on, and people will start falling off because they will have no success, and at a greater rate than what they would have um, would have fallen off before the change, right? Because they change something about their system, which ultimately will change it, how you will be able to get views. Now, you have people that say, well, that's not true because the more money, the more people become monetized, the more money that YouTube is going to make. Well, that's where you're wrong, because YouTube is going to make money regardless. It's just whether or not you're going to make money or not. Anytime you make a video, whether you're monetized or you're not, YouTube is running ads before and after your video. The only thing they cannot do is run an ad on your video in the middle of your video without you being monetized, giving them the okay to run the ad on your video. But they can put the ad at the beginning before your video, or they can put the ad at the end of your video, and YouTube still make their money. You are YouTube's leverage. You are what you are what multiplies their company. You are the more of you that are putting videos out, the more money they make. Not the more of you that is making money, the more money they make. Because the more people that make money, the less they get to keep. Right? You have to look at this thing as a business. You have to understand how this works in order to propel your channel. Now, back to the niche and why the old way of thinking does not work. With the new way of how everything is set up with the subscribers, you have to appease to your subscribers. If you're constantly just talking about the same thing over and over, you're going to get bored. Don't believe me? Go to any YouTuber that just recently blew up and read their comments. And in the comments, they're saying you're getting a little repetitive. This is starting to get boring. And you will notice subscribers are either falling off, unsubscribing, or either they are not watching and you don't see any views, right? Okay. So out of the 90% that don't make it, 10% become monetized. After that 10%, only 98% of those 98% of that 10% fail. Only 2% of those content creators actually become successful. Now, when I say 98% of the 10% fail, they fail on different levels. Some of them will never make any money once they become monetized. Some of them, other words, I'm saying they monetize, they will make something, but they will never make anything that will generate a check. And if you thought it was hard in the old system, in the new system is even harder because what what most content creators are making you believe that it was your overall platform, it's not. It is each video. Each video is paid out per 1,000 RPMs. A lot of people around here talking about the CPMs. CPMs don't matter. It's the RPMs that does. And so for each video, you have to have 1,000 or more views on that video just to be in the range of possibly getting paid. But really, you better be slightly over 1,000, because just because you got 1,000 views don't mean 1,000 people watched your video. So a lot of your payout is based on percentages versus the RPM. The RPM is just what you would get if you reach that. But most content creators that get monetization don't get 1,000 views on their videos. They're just like everybody else that haven't became monetized. They're getting a few views on their videos, and so therefore they're paid out on a percentage. Everything on this platform really is based off of a percentage. And I'm just going to be real with you, including the subscribers versus the view outcome. The reason I can see that the different levels are all struggling, even on the higher level, is because typically you want to be anywhere from the 40 to 50% of your subscriber base when it comes to your views. So if you have, let's say you have 80,000 subscribers, right? Times that by 40%, because it's going to be a little under 40,000, it'll be like 30,000. You're looking at 32,000 video. Excuse me. You're looking at about 32,000 views on that video in order for it to be in the good range for a good payout, right? But what you will find is once you become monetized, most people are on the 5 to 10% of their subscription. That's because a lot of their subscribers are not watching their material. And this is because a lot of people are so niche down that they get bored and they move off to something else. You will notice that if you're also looking in the back of your analytics, because back in the before the switch, it used to be a larger gap where the subscribers was viewing your material versus the non-subscriber was. The non-subscriber was higher and the subscribers was way lower because it didn't really depend on the subscribers. It really depended on just what group of people watched your stuff. Subscribers wasn't as important as it is today. Right. But now with the new algorithm, because your subscribers is the determining factor as to whether or not your video is going to go out, you're going to find out that now, if you look at your subscribers that watch versus the unsubscribers that didn't watch, that subscriber number is closing in really close to where it's going to be, like seesaw, right? Now, that can be a good thing. But what you want to do is to get the majority of your subscribers watching your material. And so when it comes to the niches, I don't think you should niche down too hard because what happens if you do that, you're going to have a harder time keeping your subscribers engaged because they're going to get bored and they're going to go off to find somebody else. The key is to keep them on your platform, right? Now, I'm gonna put this on me. When I my success came from where I got the majority of my subscribers from off of the Country Wayne skits. Now, I said I got my first tier when they changed. You can become monetized with 3,000 watch hours and 500 subscribers in order to do super chats in the store and be open up for an incentive. And that was to pretty much, they changed that in order to get um, people so that they wouldn't give up as easily. Okay. Um, until they can be able to reach that extra 1,000 subscribers. I'm sorry, one or extra 1,000 watch time hours and an additional 500 subscribers to be fully monetized for the whole platform. But what a lot of people don't realize is AdSense is just one way to make money. There are several ways you can make money on this platform even before you become monetized. So don't solely just put all your eggs in one basket of AdSense. Um, Look into doing other things. I am looking into other ways to generate income from the platform to utilize it and open it up as best as I can for myself. Because ultimately, after it was trying to help people. My ultimate goal was eventually to generate an additional income for my business as well, in order to propel my business because my business is transportation and that's what I am in. Um, and therefore I saw another way to try to generate income for that in order to help propel that. Now, in between doing that, I started other side businesses, side gigs of my own that could generate me money as well until this sort of took off. So I wouldn't be like, oh God, I need to hurry up and try to make money from this. So hence, as a business-minded entrepreneurial person, you should always be looking for other revenues of income to add on to. That never put your trust and hope and faith in all one thing. Don't just go all in on one thing, because you want to diversify yourself. Okay, but back on the niches. So if you there you go, diversify. If you don't diversify your niche, and so what typically happened with me was I caught a wave on the Country Wayne skits. At the time, I was still called Tamara's Life Journey, Life After Five. I was kind of like in between. The name changes, not right. Quite sure I was going to do that before I became Skitland and Commentary. Now, looking at my brand, most people probably thought I was either talking about some type of lifestyle or vlogging about myself. So I could see why maybe it did not get a lot of traction. But I was still talking about YouTube, about how to help small content creators grow. I was going behind my analytics, showing people my analytics. I was talking about YouTube. I was doing I only had did one particular person at the time as far as reaction, and that was Dee Dee. Because it was during that time they was exposing a lot of stuff about her, and I was one of the people that used to watch her. And so when all this stuff just came to light, I'm like, wow, just bring this to the forefront to a lot of other people so they don't know what's going on. But I really wasn't into doing the reactions. I just sort of did it that time because I was a faithful watcher of her channel. I used to watch her channel, right? Until, of course, I started seeing other things. Well, anyway, my brand really didn't speak for who I was. 'Cause, like, one person had said to me, they thought it meant after five, like I'm going to a club or something, relax. I was like, nah, it was my 5 kids because all my kids are grown. And so now it was like I'm trying to refigure where my life is going from here because a lot of my stuff was geared around my children, right? Okay, so once I came into my calling far as Skit Atlanta commentary and I created a brand for myself, now what I was doing made a little bit more sense because under commentary, it was lifestyle, it was advice, it's YouTube, it's reactions, it's budgeting, it's everything I was already doing anyway, like many niches up under an umbrella of commentary. But if I would have niched down to the point where I was only talking about one particular thing, like budgeting, right? Because budgeting was after the lottery thing that I got into, budgeting was something that I now, because my mind frame wasn't trying to make money from that, it was trying to just build off of what I had. My mindset switched to a um, more on finances, more financial, and because I became a little bit more financially literate about, some things, even though I knew credit was important and all that, it wasn't until after I started watching my Dave Ramsey that what actually led me to the budgeting community. But if I would have just focused on the budgeting, then there was really nowhere to go from there, far as teaching people anything about my number one thing, which was transportation, talking about the YouTube. So I looked at everything that was working on my channel that I saw that was gaining traction on it, and I geared into that, and that's where the Skit Atlanta. Country Wayne kind of gave me recognition, so it was like the skits, his skits is in Atlanta, Skit Atlanta, but the commentary part, because I was giving advice, I could talk about different areas as far as when you're talking about advice and tips. I could do skits, whether it was Country Wayne skits or if I ever wanted to develop on my own. So it allowed me to branch off into different areas. And doing that, I'm going to attract a lot of different people into my subscriber profile, which means that I have to pay attention now in this system because a lot of stuff is geared. I'm doing a lot of different stuff, and only a small percentage of each of those things my viewers are going to be interested in, right? And with the new system, you have to get through those subscribers. So some would say niching down probably is the best thing to do because then you only focus on one thing, but that will give you another hump. Do you have to be a hurdle you have to get over if they lose interest. With doing many niches within a niche, it allows you to expand out more broader to other people, but which also causes you other issues because now you have to make sure you equally give out this information for everybody so everybody can be entertained, everybody can be educated on what they want, and then as you get more of your subscribers watching it, it will push it out to others. That's why I say that the smaller content creators really are in a better position than the ones that have a larger subscriber base. So really, like, you can say after your 1,000 subscribers, and I would even suggest make sure it's a little bit more because if you dip back under there, you no longer monetize. But after your 1,000 plus subscribers really aren't important at this point anymore. It is the views that you need. So you now need to focus on your subscriber, your people. Of course, you're going to always get more subscribers, the more people that hear about you, the more people that you engage with on the platforms, they're going to come. But each time you get a subscriber, it's going to be that more difficult if you have not tapped into the algorithm to appease to those people. Now, once you tap into that algorithm to a certain point, if you know how to hold your viewers, then it doesn't matter because you're in the algorithm itself, and then it will push your stuff out. That's where the impressions will kick in. So, but you have to get past your subscriber base first. That is the key. Getting to know your subscribers, getting to know your community, getting to know what they want, and getting the majority of them to watch your videos. And by the way, when you're watching, don't forget to like, share. And of course, if you're already subscribed, thank you. But if you're not, subscribe. So I'm going to go ahead and end this right here. I'll pick up a little bit more because there's still a lot more to jump into. But as always, be your brothers and sisters keeper. Keep God first. And toodles.